they're going to say, Ryan Blaney, save me some fuel. And save me a little fuel here. Back off the throttle a little bit early. Don't use as much brake. And Ryan Blaney's got enough experience now that I think he knows how to do that.
And plus, they've got to count on some cautions. The caution flag will fly, and that'll help. If it comes in the second half, that'd be even better. So making it to 29 with the caution laps and then some with the pace laps and then caution laps later might just be the right strategy.
Ryan Blaney out front here north of the border. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series live in Bowmanville, Ontario. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park playing host for the second consecutive season. Teams arrived up here on Thursday. Had a tech day on Friday, practice qualifying yesterday, and this afternoon our 14th race of the year. And on the Sprint Cup side, only 2 races to go until NASCAR's version of the playoffs. Atlanta tonight. You want a full recap? We've got it for you on Fox Sports 1. It's NASCAR Victory Lane, midnight Eastern time.
There's a bunch of hungry dudes wanting those last few spots in the chase, huh?
They've got a lot to wrap up today from Atlanta on Victory Lane tonight. That's going to be a great race and a great show tonight. So much drama heading to the NASCAR's playoffs. It's going to be an awesome playoff season, too, with the elimination and everything that goes into being the champion this year. It's going to be fun to follow.
If you're just joining us on this Sunday afternoon, Ryan Blaney is the race leader. He started 14th and is yet to make a pit stop. Championship leader Johnny Sauter started 11th. He is second right now. He, too, is yet to come down the pit lane. Armand Quiroga, Cole Custer, and Eric Jones make up the top 5.
Johnny Sauter right now is about 6 seconds behind Ryan Blaney. Again, we've completed 24 laps. They're shooting for 29 for Ryan Blaney, so he has about 5 more laps to go. There's Jeff Hensley right there, Johnny Sauter's crew chief.
We're hearing that Hensley won't try to stretch it with this Johnny Sauter truck. But, Phil, how nervous are you if you're Ryan Blaney racing for a championship? We're in the middle of the race, and if you run out of gas at the wrong place on this big racetrack, your day's over. That's a real risk to take to try to stretch that gas that far, especially since they really don't have a mileage idea under race conditions.
Jeff Hensley last year was calling shots in this race for Miguel Paludo, who finished inside the top 5. And right on cue, here comes the championship leader. Johnny Sauter gives up second on track to make his pit stop at lap 26. The 98 headed your way, Ray.
And Adam, your strategy has to be a little bit different today if you are the point leader like Johnny Sauter. I asked Jeff Hensley, are you hoping for a lot of cautions in the second part? He said, no, we are not planning on doing this in one stop. Sauter's truck is fairly hot. It's spitting out a little tiny bit of water. They may want to clean that front grill. They'll put 4 tires on it. You see the wedge wrench goes into the right rear. They will make a chassis adjustment. Johnny Sauter's lap times were about 3/10 faster than the leader, Ryan Blaney.
The key for this team right here is the fact that they can elect to not do tires on his next pit stop. We know he can go about 30 laps, so he can go back to lap 55, which would mean inside of 10 to go, and maybe just dump a little fuel in it like Armand Quiroga did and spend less time on pit road.
Speaking of Ron, go ahead, Mike.
The guy that's inherited the lead is Ryan Blaney. That strategy that they're going on a one-stop play here means he's going to lead the race in the middle stages, but I love what Armand Quiroga's team did. Butch Hilton, great call. Get in, get some gas. The tires aren't falling off, Phil. We've been able to see lap times out of Quiroga that are consistently in the top 5 times. So those laps on his tires aren't hindering his progress right now, and he gained so much ground by not spending that extra time on pit road.
Quiroga 12 seconds behind race leader Ryan Blaney.
Here he is. He exits turn number 10.
He's got about a second over Eric Jones, who runs in the 3rd spot.
And did we give a call to the guys running 13th and 14th? Joey Coulter, Jeb Burton repaired their trucks after qualifying, which meant they had to start at the rear, and here they are inside the top 15. Nice job by both those teams.
See how much lap traffic slows your progress. Quiroga didn't have any idea whether the slower truck was going to give him room or not, so you got to slow down. The slower truck did indeed pull over to the outside, Scott Stensel, and he was able to go on around him, but it still took his progress away.
We've completed lap 26 now. We're looking for Ryan Blaney to come by again to complete lap 27. Then he's within 2 laps of his window. We're here. He's coming on lap 29. Remember, Ryan Blaney, from the time they announced the command to start engines, has been saving fuel.
That means short shifting. You talked about he hadn't made much progress from that 14th starting position. He wasn't being aggressive like we saw Andrew Ranger in the early going. He was watching his braking, short shifting a bit, letting off early, just biding his time until everyone else pitted. grabbing the lead now and trying to use a different strategy since he didn't start up front to win this race.
Ryan Blaney's led more laps than any other driver so far today. 10 circuits he's been out front. His teammate Alex Tagliani started on the pole, led the first 7. He scored in the 7th position right now. And he's led 7 laps today. And then Gray Galding and Andrew Ranger have also led some laps here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Was watching Ryan Blaney as he came by our broadcast position. We're right at the exit of turn number 10. He got caught up behind the lap truck in between 9 and 10, and it cost him about 2 seconds of lap time. We talked about Quiroga being over 12 seconds behind. Now he's inside of 10 seconds behind.
Mentioned the success today coming from the back for both Joey Coulter and Jet Burton. There you see that 21 machine, and the reason he had to start at the back, round 1 of qualifying yesterday, things not going good off of turn 2, Phil.
Thank goodness, though, for these tire barriers and not a concrete wall or a safer barrier. Oh, you see, that thing should have been destroyed, Michael, and he's going to back that truck out of there and drive it back to the garage. The guy said no suspension damage, hardly any cosmetic damage. They just tuned up on it a little bit, and there it is. You see a few little wrinkles. Otherwise, good shape.
Same corner here. Look how conservatively he makes it around the inside of that baby this time. But you know, Phil, we talked a lot about the tire barriers at Watkins Glen. I've been unfortunate enough to hit a tire barrier too, and they just absorb all the impact, and that's a great example of that. That truck was in windshield deep, as we say in NASCAR. He backed her out, beat some dents out. Now he's running competitively in the race.
You want a good battle for position? How about 5th on back? Ray Galding, the 16-year-old who started on the front row. Right behind him, Darrell Wallace Jr. right now scored in the 6th position. And you see the blue truck there, our pole sitter, Alex Tagliani, is 7th. They are all 3 racing for position.
Now, let's give you a little bit of an example of the difference between Tagliani, who saw him have a little bit of a hiccup on his pit stop there. He is 26 seconds behind the leader. Herman Quiroga did fuel only. He's less than 10 seconds behind the leader. So the difference, 16 seconds on the racetrack right now.
And maybe the slowest pit stop of all day was Andrew Ranger's. We saw problems with the team getting the tires changed. Ranger parked too close to pit wall. He has just cracked back inside the top 10, and he's just a few seconds behind the Tagliani and Crafton battle that's just up ahead. So he's recovered from that bad pit stop because it happened under green. You make that pit stop under caution with all the competitive trucks there are these days. You go from 1st to 15th or 20th. He just lost some track position, some time on the track, and he's making that up in a hurry, passing left and right.
So what does all that time mean? Right of your screen on the telemetry for Alex Tagliani, you see the track map. He's the green dot. The yellow dot, race leader Ryan Blaney, his teammate, who right now is making his way off of turn 10 and back to the start-finish line.
Just go by the start-finish line. Complete lap number 28. We expect to see him probably on pit road in the next lap. If not the next lap, certainly the lap after that. So right now the strategy for Chad Kendrick is working. If he can make it 29 laps with 3 pace laps, Michael, it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay because I just believe the caution flag will fly in the second half. People will get more impatient. You'll see more aggressive driving. That'll mean contact, and that'll mean trucks spinning into the walls.
So you said and made the point, no cautions so far. And we talked earlier today in the setup. This is a 64-lap race, 10 turns here. That's 640 opportunities to screw it up. No cautions to get a mental break. How tough is this? How mental taxing on a driver to have a long green flag stretch like this?
Well, I think for Ryan Blaney, it's been really tough because he's known from the beginning of the race he had to save that fuel. So when you try to be conservative and just run your own race, there's always somebody diving on the inside of you, and you're battling and racing. And now it's mentally taxing for him to be thinking, please just get me back to the start-finish line one more time so I don't run out of gas and throw this whole race away before halfway.
And by the way, these races on a road course are physically challenging as well. Here he comes.
3, 2.
Right on cue.
Up there. Pit road speed right there.
Man who entered 3rd in the championship. 24 points out coming today. He's led 13 laps, but gives up the top spot to make a stop. Hermie?
He hits his pit stall. His crew chief, Chad Kendrick, has not only been talking to him about the fuel pressure situation, but also managing his lap times on the racetrack. They've slowed him down, actually, on the racetrack about 3 different times. They're done on the left side. They come around to the right side. It is a small air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. Now the 29 has to hope for a good truck and a few cautions to make it to the end.
Scheduled stop. First one of the day for Ryan Blaney. Comes at lap 30, and as he exits the pit lane, your new man out front, Armand Quiroga, Cole Custer, Eric Jones, Ray Gaulding, Darrell Wallace Jr., the top 5. You cannot come to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Bowmanville, Ontario without stopping off in Toronto, one of the largest cities in North America. Pay a visit to the Rogers Center and see a little baseball. We did it over the weekend, and now we got a battle on track. This would be the race lead. Armand Quiroga had it, and now it's Cole Custer trying to make his way to the point. This is the long back straightaway.
Was there some contact, or did...
I think there was some contact. And where did the spotter say that's a 16-year-old kid there now?
Look at the side of Custer's truck. It's got some wheel marks on it.
We saw that damage, though, in turn number 5. Remember when he got together with the truck that spun in turn 5?
That when he hit Justin Jennings over there.
That may have been where that damage came from.
Quiroga had a couple-second lead, though. And that's obviously gone. And look at, remember those tires on the 77 truck? He hasn't changed them all day long, but he's been able to run competitive lap times. But that last time around here, he ran over 85 seconds. That's some 2 seconds off the pace. So he slipped or slid or got pushed, but lost a couple of seconds on that last lap.
The young kids have been great today. Ray Gaulding started on the front row, led some laps early. First time in his career he's been out front. Same now for Cole Custer back over to turn 5.
Was able to get on the inside, no contact, just very aggressive.
It's
nice.
in turn number 5 there. See, look at the 77 goes a little bit wide, opens up the bottom. They make slight contact, but I think there was certainly room for Cole Custer to be on the inside.
But
no
that's
harm,
what
no foul.
that's what you got to do, right? When the door opens, you got to pounce here on the road course.
And he did that.
We've seen that from lap 1 with Andrew Ranger. He's been diving on the inside of anything ahead of him, and you can see here, it looks like Quiroga slips out a little wide. You hear the tire screeching.
He's left side's out outside the rumble strip there. Had a little bit of trouble getting going there. He was down a little bit on RPM and blubbered a little bit on exit. Now Cole Custer's opened up about 10 truck lengths lead over the 77 of Quiroga.
Let's reset the top 10 here now that we've gone past halfway. 33 of 64 laps complete. We showed you Cole Custer getting by Armand Quiroga for the top spot. Eric Jones is 3rd. Ray Gaulding, who we mentioned a moment ago, is 4th. Darrell Wallace Jr., top 5 here last season, is 5th right now. You got Alex Tagliani in 6th, the pole sitter. Matt Crafton, Cameron Haley, Andrew Ranger, Brennan Newberry, the top 10.
There's Eric Jones, another kid running in the 3rd spot. A teenager driving like a veteran.
And this is literally his first road racing experience ever.
Well, wasn't Eldora his first dirt race?
Yes.
That he ever ran competitively, and he
set on a pole.
Set on the pole.
Yes.
So nothing this kid does surprises us. He's very talented behind the wheel. Kyle Busch Motorsports obviously puts together awesome trucks. Eric Jones on the pole at Eldora, and Bubba Wallace wins up there. These teams are fast everywhere they go, so it's no surprise to see him at the front. But I think the surprise for me, Phil, just comes from the experience and the ability that these kids show, not only to go fast for a lap or two, but how to carry it out for a whole race. I mean, you can't take away what lap after lap of experience will give you as a racer. They don't have that.
Don't have it at all.
But yet they can go out and get the job done. It's been a very impressive year. Hats off to NASCAR for letting these 16-year-old kids compete on some of the tracks that we race on and starting to get their legs under them, because Cole Custer and Eric Jones, if you told me right now they'll be Cup winners one day, I wouldn't argue with you about that.
First pit stop of the day for Cole Custer came at lap 12. Here he comes again, lap 35 for what could very well be his final stop, Hermie.
Great run for Cole Custer. He gives up the race lead to come to pit road. His crew chief is Joe Shear Jr. A lot of experience in this series. No adjustments chassis-wise. A slight air pressure adjustment. 4 tires full of Sunoco fuel for the 00. And waiting on fuel just a moment. He's stalling the truck. Now he's down. The tire gets away on pit road too, guys.
I think there was a bit of indecision there on how much gas he needed. I think they let the truck down, and maybe they were supposed to finish some fueling, and Cole got a little bit confused there.
With 29 to go, they better make sure they get that truck full. And I think this may start a flurry of pit stops. Again, you just want to get in that window. We talked about it, about 30 laps here. Right now we have 29 laps to go.
And the reason why you want to be in that is because what Armand Quiroga has been able to do. He stayed out on those tires, ran over 30 laps leading this race on 30-lap tires. That tells me, and this is going to be a problem for this team, you can't get enough gas mileage when you're losing it out the back. But, oh, it gets worse, too. They're going to have to come back to pit road for a tire that got away on that stop.
Yeah, Hermie talked about the tire getting away. There it is. They rolled it to pit wall.